Look like Kevin Stefanski is speaking to the media after another loss. Guys,
sometimes remember that these are very, very young men. People come into the NFL with different levels of maturity. These are young guys, and not all of them speak the same way. And some of them, I think, just have different personalities too. I don't think Shedeur meant any harm. Shedeur is a dynamic player. He's got a lot of personality. He has done a lot of things right here. He's worked.
Mary Kay Cabot just dropped a bombshell. And guess who's catching all the shrapnel? Dillon Gabriel. After that brutal Vikings loss, the poor guy's become the NFL's latest scapegoat. The walking definition of wrong place, wrong time. Meanwhile, Shedeur Sanders' name is flying around like the league's newest plot twist. And suddenly everyone's questioning the depth chart. What did Dillon do to deserve this fallout? Or maybe the better question is, what did Shedeur do right to spark this kind of chaos? Buckle up, it's about to get wild.
And they get him on the field, and it doesn't go well. And I'm not going to say that it's going to go that way for Dillon, even though I have my reservations. But isn't that a lot to put on a third-round pick that's a rookie, hoping that you maybe found your franchise quarterback on a guy that a lot of people were scratching their heads that you made that pick to begin with?
It depends on the player. It all depends on the player. And I do think there is something to be said for a player who has started so many games.
If you're enjoying, please subscribe Shedeur Sanders to the channel. It helps more than you think. It was supposed to be just another Sunday, another gloomy chapter of Minnesota heartbreak, complete with drizzle and disappointment. But this one exploded into chaos, somewhere between the fourth quarter implosion and the post-game press conference. Mary Kay Cabot reached her breaking point. No patience, no restraint. Just a verbal explosion that turned routine misery into headline drama.
Hard to come up the learning curve, and this is the first time in his life and his career that he's had to be a backup. And it's difficult. He's trying to be patient, he's trying to do the right things, but it cannot be easy for him to believe that he can go out there and start football games and have to be the third string quarterback right now.
And this wasn't some mild frustration over a bad game. Mary Kay Cabot went nuclear. We're talking full-on meltdown mode. The kind of eruption that makes even the cameras hesitate to zoom in. The Vikings choke, the locker room falls dead silent, and Mary Kay, she's laying down scripture. Her first commandment, thou shalt never let Dillon Gabriel near a football again. This wasn't analysis. It was a reckoning. A thunderstorm of accountability wrapped in a press badge.
Get great news from former NFL players. And also, the NFL chose to advertise Shedeur Sanders over there in London. But he ain't good enough to play for the Cleveland Browns. But you chose to advertise him in London? Oh, we finna talk about it.
The guy threw a few bad passes. Missed an open read, maybe stalled a drive, nothing unheard of. But listening to Mary Kay, you'd think Dillon Gabriel caused a national crisis and wiped out the football gods' trust fund. She's pacing, gesturing wildly, dissecting every snap like it's top secret footage from Area 51. Where's the poise? Where's the fire? She demands, except it's not really a question. It's a verdict. And Dillon's already convicted.
Tell you, dog, Kevin Stefanski is back in the headlines, man. And it's for all of the wrong reasons. He's looking real spooky. A lot of people really want to see Shedeur Sanders in there at quarterback. Will we see him? As of right now, I just don't know. I can't yay or nay us saying Shedeur. One thing I can tell you is that whenever Shedeur get his chance to go, he's going to be ready. I can almost guarantee you that. Now, Dillon Gabriel had his bowed out. A lot of them flats, check down passes, that ain't going to cut it, man.
Because the spark, apparently, has packed up and moved to Colorado with Shedeur Sanders. That's right. The second the final whistle blew. Shedeur's name popped up like it was trending before the loss even hit the scoreboard. Suddenly, Vikings Twitter isn't talking about missed tackles or busted coverage. Nope. They're talking about Shedeur, the quarterback of destiny. The man who's supposed to arrive, cape fluttering, to rescue Minnesota from eternal mediocrity. And Mary Kay? She's leading that parade like it's the Super Bowl. Meanwhile, poor Dillon Gabriel's just sitting there, helmet still half on, wondering how he became the villain in someone else's movie. 1 week ago, he was promising, developing, full of potential. Now he's replaceable, expendable, and should probably start packing just in case. Fans have short memories, but Mary Kay's rant gave everyone a highlight reel to remember. And you could feel it, that collective shift. The post-game interviews weren't even about the game anymore. They were about what comes next, who's next, and why it might just rhyme with Shedeur. The funny thing? The Vikings didn't even play that bad. But logic and football fandom don't mix. You lose one game and suddenly everyone's scouting replacements like they're on a reality show called Quarterback Swap, NFL edition. And leading the charge? Mary Kay, clipboard out, energy levels set to unhinged visionary. But here's where it gets hilarious. Because as she's tearing into Dylan, she's not just critiquing the throws, she's diagnosing the vibes. She's talking about leadership presence, sideline energy, command of the offense, which, let's be honest, are just fancy ways of saying, he didn't look cool enough while losing. And that's when the comparison train hits full speed. What about...
What do you want me to really say about Dylan Gabriel over the next 3.5 hours? Well, he was composed. Great. You know how he conducted himself? He conducted himself how a career backup should conduct himself, where you just hope that you're able to hold down the fort until the regular starter comes back. The problem is, we don't have a regular starter that comes back. Well, we do, but nobody wants to see him. So nobody wants that to happen. So here we have to hope that Dylan Gabriel, a guy who is certainly limited, a guy who's smart enough to probably be a coach in the NFL someday, has to go out there and conduct an offense, and we just little bit. And we have to hope that Quinshon Judkins is able to carry us into the end zone, and we don't have a holding call on it.
What about Shedeur Sanders? She says, or rather implies, because no one's brave enough to interrupt. Shedeur, who's been lighting up college football like a fireworks finale. Shedeur, whose social media posts get more engagement than half the league's stat lines. Suddenly, this isn't about footwork or reads. This is about aura. And apparently Dylan's is somewhere between IT intern on break and guy who forgot the Wi-Fi password. Meanwhile, the fan base is split down the middle. Half of them are in full agreement. They're ready to print Shedeur's name on jerseys and start the welcome parade. The other half, they're begging for patience, saying Dylan needs time, that the system's the problem. But patience is a lost art in the NFL. No, it was close, painfully close, which makes it worse. It's like losing a spelling bee on the final word, and then realizing the judge has your therapist on speed dial. The Vikings had chances. The defense made stops. The offense had rhythm, until it didn't. And in that moment, every dropped ball and mistimed throw turned into Exhibit A in the case of why Shedeur should save us. So there she is, Mary Kay Cabot, turning the post-game breakdown into a TED Talk. And here,
first touchdown, and the Browns win the Super Bowl. Browns win the Super Bowl. Brown wins the Super Bowl. But in reality, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to break down this game with receipts, everything, no hate, nothing at all. We're going to be very fair. Salute to Shedeur Sanders. We've been proven correct again and again. At this point, I'm not a prophet anymore. I'm just a guy that can see past the ineptitude.
And here's the thing. She's not wrong about Shedeur's talent. The guy's electric. He's composed, athletic, confident, everything you want in a modern quarterback. But this is the NFL, not a fan fiction crossover event. You can't just swap quarterbacks like you're changing Wi-Fi networks. Still, logic doesn't trend. Hot takes do. And Mary Kay's take. Sizzling. Soon enough, the conversation snowballs. Pundits pick it up. Panels debate it. Someone on national TV says Shedeur to Minnesota with a straight face, and suddenly it's all anyone's talking about. Never mind that it's based on a rant that started over a third down incompletion. It's football gossip gold, and it spreads like wildfire. Dylan Gabriel handles it with all the grace he can muster. But you can tell it stings. You go from rookie with potential to placeholder until Sanders arrives in about 6 seconds. Every question becomes a minefield. How do you feel about the comparisons? Translation: how do you feel about the world replacing you before you've unpacked? And through it all, Mary Kay's energy doesn't fade. If anything, it intensifies. She's dissecting game film, body language, maybe even the pre-game playlist. You half expect her to start analyzing handshakes to prove a point. It's like watching someone become a meme in real time. Every highlight clip becomes evidence. Every sideline smile becomes leadership material. By Wednesday,
move the football at a high level. Can he do it? I don't believe he can. Man, it just is what it is. Now, Kevin Stefanski, like I stated, speaking to the media right now. And,
for a young player in that environment versus that defense to take care of the ball, make the plays he made, I thought was a lot of positives with plenty to clean up, and that's what he will do, and that's the mentality he has, is certainly to be a player that continues to get better week in and week out.
By Wednesday, there's already a fan mock-up of him in purple and gold, because nothing says hope like Photoshop. Meanwhile, analysts are torn. Some love the idea. They're calling it visionary, saying it's time the Vikings shake things up, inject youth, excitement, swagger. Others are rolling their eyes so hard you can hear it. Another college phenom people think can fix a franchise overnight, because the NFL has seen this movie before, and it usually ends with a rookie running for his life behind a broken offensive line. But that's the rebound energy in full swing. You lose, you panic. By Thursday, you've got fans in comment sections writing 5-paragraph essays about how Shedeur fits the Vikings scheme. Friday morning, someone drops a TikTok comparing Dylan's passer rating to Shedeur's college stats, completely ignoring the fact that they're in two different universes. Saturday, talk radio's on fire. Sunday, Dylan's trending again, but only because someone edited him into a before and after meme.
On paper, 2 touchdowns, no turnovers, that sounds solid. But if you really watch the game, then you know the truth. But let me give you a little bit of snippets. Basically, the scoreboard today, ladies and gentlemen, was 21-17. And I woke up early to watch this game. A lot of you guys did it, and it's understandable. They're playing these games in London, which I'm cool with. The NFL is trying to expand their brand, much like the NBA, to turn into an international game. I've been dreaming of that, so I got no issues with that. Now, I just showed you Dylan's touchdown, but this was Dylan in warm-up getting ready for the game. Like I'm a human being, bro. When I seen this warm-up, I kind of wanted Dylan to win and do good.
And the cycle repeats. Outrage, fantasy, debate, denial, rinse, repeat. The NFL might as well trademark it. And all the while, Dylan's trying to learn a new playbook while half the country is photoshopping him into trade rumors. Mary Kay, of course, doubles down. She's got that "I told you so" energy loaded before anyone even disagrees. The loss hurt, sure, but the idea of Shedeur, that's her rebound. That's the hope she's clinging to like it's gospel. And honestly, that's what makes it hilarious. Another's calling for a coaching overhaul, and in the middle of it, Mary Kay's still passionately defending her quarterback crush like it's a mission from the football gods. By the next week, it's turned into something bigger. Not even about the Vikings anymore. It's about the myth of Shedeur Sanders. The guy hasn't even stepped on an NFL field yet, and people are treating him like a franchise savior. A cultural reset and a redemption arc all rolled into one. It's the rebound effect in its purest form. When your team disappoints you, you don't process, you project. You don't heal, you hype. And Mary Kay Cabot just gave that cycle its most entertaining chapter yet. Because deep down, everyone in Minnesota knows the truth. They'll cool off eventually. Dylan will get another chance. The noise will fade, and when it does, people will realize what this whole rant really was. Not an evaluation, not an analysis, but a coping mechanism disguised as commentary.
What's more funny though? The guy yelling at him to the right, or the dude to the left that just can't contain himself, that just wants to interrupt? And look, y'all got mad at me for saying it yesterday. Even people in Cleveland are saying it. He did okay. He managed the game. He got them just enough. The minute that he took a chance at the end of the game, he threw a pick. Got a second chance, and then he went short. Every pass he threw wasn't even over 5.5 yards. That's safe. That's okay. That's taking no chances and relying on everybody else to do their job. But
until then, the internet's lit, the takes are flying, and Shedeur Sanders is living rent-free in the Vikings' imagination. Mary Kay may have gone off, but let's be honest, she just said out loud what half the fan base was already thinking. And in the NFL, where every week feels like a soap opera and shoulder pads, that might just make her the realest of them all. Because in the end, it's not about Dylan or Shedeur or even the Vikings. It's about that eternal football truth. When the loss hits hard enough, reality doesn't stand a chance against the rebound fantasy. And that's exactly where the NFL lives, right in the middle of the chaos. Within an hour, fan pages are designing mock draft graphics, and talk shows are debating whether Shedeur should accept the challenge like he's being knighted into quarterback royalty. Meanwhile, Dillon Gabriel can't even grab coffee without someone whispering about the writing on the wall. You can almost see him thinking, I lost one game, not my career. But that's not how it works anymore. In the rebound world of NFL fandom, a bad Sunday is enough to start a quarterback revolution.
The quarterback of the Cleveland Browns getting good news from former NFL players. Well, the Cleveland Browns chose to go with Dillon Gabriel this weekend against the Minnesota Vikings in London. Dillon Gabriel did a decent job, but the team still lost. So by choosing Dillon Gabriel to start this game, that lets me know that Shedeur Sanders will be starting.
Mary Kay's rant didn't just criticize him, it baptized the entire fan base in chaos. And Shedeur, he's probably chilling somewhere, watching all this unfold, sipping water like a man who accidentally started a movement. He doesn't need to say anything. His silence is doing the heavy lifting. Every highlight he posts gets interpreted as a message to Minnesota. Every throw is a sign. Every grin is confirmation. One loss, one rant, and suddenly the entire league's orbiting around a story that started with frustration and spiraled into prophecy. Only in the NFL could heartbreak turn into headline gold overnight. And by midweek, the madness has fully matured into a spectacle. Sports shows are looping Shedeur Sanders' college highlights next to slow-motion clips of Dillon Gabriel missing throws, like they're editing a breakup montage. You'd think the two were part of some romantic drama titled He Lost the Game. She found the future. Every time Shedeur throws a perfect spiral, the caption might as well read, Meanwhile, in the timeline where Minnesota made the right choice.
Going to hear the analysts, they're going to tell you Dillon Gabriel did a great job. He handled the team well, and those of us that watched the game, we're not going to knock his back end, but we are going to tell the truth. Dillon Gabriel did exactly what he was told to do. Now, whether or not you think that was good or not, that's left to see. But what we can tell you is that the stats don't lie. They don't have opinions. They either are or they aren't. Dillon Gabriel was 19 for 33 in terms of completion.
Mary Kay Cabot's rant is now football scripture. Clips of her frustration are stitched into TikToks with dramatic music and flashing headlines. Cabot was right. The Vikings need Shedeur now. End the Dillon era. Sports talk radio is melting down. Dillon Gabriel, bless his soul, is still trying to be professional. He's saying all the right things in pressers, staying focused, working harder, blocking out the noise. But how do you block out an entire internet rooting for your replacement? The man could throw a 70-yard touchdown tomorrow, and someone would still comment, Shedeur would have made it look cleaner. He's not just fighting defenders anymore. He's fighting perception. Meanwhile, Mary Kay's doubled down so hard it's practically performance art. She's got stats, timelines, even a hypothetical Shedeur transition plan ready to go. It's not reporting anymore. It's prophecy.
And Kevin Stefanski has elected to go with Dillon Gabriel at perhaps one of the worst matchups on the schedule. I'm sitting here watching the news and a lot of people are talking about, oh, it's Kevin Stefanski. He trusts Dillon Gabriel. If he was smart and he didn't want to ruin this rookie's chance of being any credible starter in the league whatsoever, going up against a Brian Flores defense is head-scratching to me. It's like Minnesota is at the top of the league for overall sacks. They get pressure like nobody's business.
And fans are eating it up. Some are treating Mary Kay like she's leading a revolution. Others think she's lost it completely. But everyone's talking, and that's what matters. Because in the NFL, attention is oxygen. And right now, this saga's breathing just fine. Then, as if fate wants to tease everyone, Shedeur posts an Instagram story of him working out in Vikings-colored sneakers. That's it. No caption, no comment, just a workout clip. Dillon Gabriel could cure fumbles, win 2 straight games, and it wouldn't matter. Shedeur's sneakers just broke the internet. It's ridiculous. It's dramatic. It's perfectly NFL. And Mary Kay Cabot? She's sitting somewhere, scrolling through the chaos, quietly vindicated. Because whether she meant to or not, she just turned one Vikings loss into the most entertaining quarterback debate of the season. And there's no coming back from that.